I will ask you to be aware of, in terms of observation, I will ask you to be aware of your daily and professional surroundings. Be very much aware of the city you work in, the organizations that you have first-hand experiences with, other venues in your local community. What are the opportunities for dance? How would you actually describe that? What do you notice? What are the qualities the organization work with? What are the questions the organizations work from? How is the leadership? What are the venue facilities like? What is the stage like? Do they have a cafe? Is it a good place to meet? Is it a place you would become inspired? Who works there? Who is the audience? If you start to notice and refine your observations, you will be ready to share this very important local knowledge later on when such questions arise in networking conversation. My point is that you are a witness and you will become a spokesperson, or what we will call a cultural ambassador for your local arts community. You will know how to exactly decode your local culture and know when there will be open calls or new buildings available for dance. This information can become vital when developing projects and securing funding for survival of yourself, your community, and the art form. And in every project, it is always, always important to have a local partner. And I kindly ask you to prepare yourself to become such a valid local partner. Another step towards observing is to experience the live performing arts on stage. What patterns, questions, methods, and ethics are you exposed to? Who is actually on the stage? Who is in the audience? Why? Which qualities do you experience in the work you see? What kind of questions does it raise? Does it inspire you in your own process of work? Could you imagine dancing in this particular work? Why? Would your qualities fit? Why and how? I believe this to be a very vital part of your networking skills as dancers and choreographers, to attend performances and be curious about the current context. And I will actually encourage you to map these opportunities, to keep a diary with your professional observations, because it will benefit in two ways. Firstly, you will refine your professional lingo, and secondly, you will remember the status and the development of your local arts community much better. And in this way, you will be prepared for the best possible way, but step by step. I'm not asking you to go home and make a big analysis, but observe, observe, observe. Yes? What do we have here? Yes, these were some of the... In your career, you will enter a large number of collaborations and teams, as well as teams with a flux of members. Therefore, you need to practice your own values and navigation skills so you bring the best to each project. A new project is likely to have a very unclear or unformulated rule of conduct. It is more likely that such rules will appear out of an informal milieu and revealing itself over time through sharing of practice and steps of development or even moment of crisis. And I encourage you to keep track of yourself when you are in these different settings and teams over time to understand how you can develop and progress and stay true to yourself. Although the arts offer various information on settings, understand that you are in a professional context. To build a sustainable and long vital context for your development, I advise you to distinguish between private, personal and professional conversations. And no matter what, please remember, we are all just people. There's so many methods available to get the conversation of what you stand for and where you want to go out of your head and onto the next level. Foremost, you need to speak your mind and speak from the heart. And I encourage you to raise your voice and let people understand what you are looking for and what it is that you desire. Reflective approach to figure out what is best, right, strongest, and strategic for us to do in any given situation. But in a strategy, the essence is also sometimes to choose what not to do. So there's so many choices, but keep it real, keep it real, keep it real. I'm going to now quote and what do you call it, a research that was made by ITM many, many years ago. And actually I think you contributed to that as well when Dragan Kleitsch was part of the network. And they made a very beautiful description of what a formal network is, and I want to share that with you. A network offers a source of potential and opportunity which unfolds to its members through a course of gradual exploration. In this sense, the network is similar to a labyrinth. The comparison is only valid in relation to the point of view of the person who has entered and is following this labyrinth. The strategy is adopted for finding one's way through and returning to the starting point, addressing drastically different from those. I think I have messed up my quote here. I apologize. It's a little bit messed up, my text here. I will try to breathe in and breathe out and try again. But the point is that you are entering a labyrinth. And when you are in this labyrinth, it is your pathway that is in the interesting thing. The ones who have built this labyrinth, they are looking at it from above, and they are kind of servicing that you can enter this labyrinth. But it is all up to you how you kind of get to the next step, the next step, and the next step. And what you've done 7 steps before will have an influence on what you do on the next 7 steps. It's basically like that. It has a ripple effect of entering a network. So the person traveling through the... This is really weird. I'm not going to read this at all. Okay. Well, I will send you the quote afterwards because it was a very good quote. Once you embark on your professional network, I encourage you to arrive prepared. This is kind of a step-by-step preparation that can be going through the participant list. I'm sure that you did something similar when you were arriving here, kind of checking out the names, understanding where people were from, trying to kind of memorize some of the names. Maybe I kind of know that person, or maybe my friend know that person. You know, it's part of the journey. But when you go to an international formal networking event, I would also encourage you, if you enter up at an ITM meeting, that you book maybe 3 or 5 meetings beforehand. But I don't want you to book anything more than that, because when you go, you have to be spontaneous and you have to be inspired. And the most beautiful thing is actually to be in a flow of people and understanding that you are with interesting, like-minded people that inspired you in a way you wouldn't even think would happen on that exactly Thursday in the Netherlands or in Italy, or because ITM is a traveling network, so there's meetings all places in Europe, so it's a way of exploring a local context. And when you enter such a conference or opportunity, I encourage you to arrive with 2, max 3 potential research questions that are relevant to you and that truly inspire you. Because then you will not be kind of lost in name dropping and power structures and power battles and festival directors that where you wave your arms and they don't notice you, and all these things that might happen. And I will get back to you on the networking session after the break, where we'll do some kind of preparing practices. And the booklet, it starts with a conversation. It's free for download, and there's kind of a stop and think process to how you can prepare yourself. So that is available for you afterwards. And now, actually, just for a moment, I wish to focus on a discipline that is also exercised in the international performing arts community, and which is also part of networking and putting your ideas forward. Because when you go to the different festivals or conferences or sale fairs, you see shows that have been selected by a jury to go on stage, but you also see work that is in progress or work that is ready to tour. And that work will be presented in a format which is called a pitching session. And it's also something that we did when we were developing the Nordic dance platform. Then we did a format called More. And then you think that, but I don't want to talk about my art. I want to dance. I want to be on stage. I want to do this. But what is important is that you need to understand that from kind of starting an idea to ending up on stage and taking it abroad, there can be 3 to 4 years before it actually succeeds. So it's a long, consistent process of sharing and renewing, analyzing, understanding. So if you think that some festival directors are like, you think like, why is there not room for my show in this festival? Or why don't they understand that this idea that I have exactly now that I want to deliver in 6 months, why isn't that it can't happen? It's not that people don't want to let that happen. It's actually because the structure is quite a slow structure we have in the dance industry, unless you find venues that program for things to happen more spontaneously. I know that Bush, when you were running Dansehallerne, you had a program called Lunar Nights. And then you invited the whole arts and dance community to step up. So kind of an open stage opportunity, so sharing could happen in a generous and fun way. And it was an absolutely marvelous success. So it's also kind of looking for those opportunities, kind of sharing by attending events like this. But I'm going to go a little bit into the pitching, and I'm doing that because it's something that will be interesting to you in a few steps of your career. But I'm a little bit of a nerd in terms of that, so I want to share that if that is okay. So where to begin? Projecting dreams takes careful thinking and mindful consideration. And transforming them into a successful project takes a continuous workflow. And as a producer and artist, you are like an explorer, depending on resources and for your survival. You need all team members to survive. And you need sponsors and external collaborators to support your work. Nevertheless, you rely on the strength and health and the ability to collect information and activate this knowledge in the best possible way. So even, you can be a dancer or choreographer leading and entering a project, but the knowledge that you have, it can actually help strengthen that project. If you're working with dance producers who know how to kind of get you involved, because when we started today, there's so much knowledge in this room. There's knowledge about what's going on in Hong Kong. There's knowledge about Finland. There's knowledge about Slovenia. Yes. There's knowledge about Copenhagen. There's more than you think. So activate it, share it, insist on sharing it. So in the work that I've been doing, I've been preparing some projects to pitch at larger events. So it's at festivals or sale fairs where there will be around 200 to 400 people seated, and then you have 7 minutes, 3 minutes to kind of address them and share your artistic idea. And this artistic idea can be shared in informal settings like this, or extremely formal settings where you are in the time center. There's a big video screen, and you have to really, compose yourself before you go on stage. So the pitch is a proven discipline, and it may be your next tool. A pitch is a format designed to strengthen your project artistically and financially. Consider a pitch as a carefully timed professional meeting opportunity and a forum for creators and art professionals to share and discover new performing art projects. It's a qualified chance to expand your network and a chance to earn more time, and in time find match investments, co-founders, producers, and touring partners. At a professional pitch, you may have 5, 7, or 10 minutes to share your work. And once the clock is ticking, you need to communicate your vision, mission, conditions, needs, circumstances, and point of uniqueness. Simple as that. A pitch is a competitive format, and it is secured through application or by invitation only. So you are expected to be well prepared and to create a convincing storyline and inspire curiosity. And to my knowledge, the term pitching stems from baseball and describes the strategy of the pitcher throwing the ball. And the slang then moved into advertisement and PR trade and got adopted by the film and musical industry and their kind of sales practice. The comparison between sport and business is transparent, as the pitch is part of a more massive game. And for each step of the game, different strategies will be called upon, forever depending on timing, context, and aim. And in my research and preparation for pitching, I listened to writers talking about their struggle, delivering a short and well-prepared presentation, making investors and producers utterly excited about their script, and potential statement that was simple. A well-delivered pitch should make investors willing to allow the writers to make more valuable face time. So it's like if you do a pitch in 3 minutes, you might get access to a meeting that lasts 15 minutes or half an hour. It might end up being invited for a meeting for 1 hour where you can discuss the potential of the project. So kind of look at it as a way of kind of being prepared, buying more time, being prepared, buying more time, being prepared, buying more time. And it's also a way of being in respect of everybody's time. So that's another thing. Should we do a short break? Do you need that? Is it dark in the room? Should we do 5 minutes break? We do that, you come back, and then I will take you through more pitching, and then we will get to more networking. Okay? Okay, good, super. Okay, everybody, I would like everybody to stand up, please. Are you ready? Thank you. So, the thing is that time is running fast. And in networking, timing is of the essence. So what I will do is that I will share with Walter and he will share it with you. I will wrap it up as an article on pitching. And I'm sure you will be more interested in that in the future. But I think for now, we're just going to do some very simple exercises. And one thing that is super important when we are talking about networking, it is, in generous networking, it is not just about you. It's not about me going to Walter and say, please give me 14 dates in your festival. That is what I expect. Why don't you answer my emails? I'm so pissed off with you. It's feelings that can generate when you are kind of entering an industry. But I think what is more interesting is that I think here's Walter. He really needs to meet Bush, because I do think that Bush and Walter, they could have a very genuine conversation on some issues on developing the performing arts industry. So I would introduce them to one another. So one thing that is the first and very valuable step in networking is that you practice introducing yourself and then also introducing others. It is basic, it is simple, but it is needed time and time again. And you can practice this all the time while you're here, when you are out in the evening, when you are meeting with the choreographers. And Bush, you're welcome to walk wherever you want to walk. But I want to emphasize on that, because I don't want networking to be this kind of big monster where you think, my God, how can I ever be able of doing this? It's starting short. Do the diary where you notice your local community. Start making a list with contacts that are relevant to you. So you can go back to that list and actually you kind of consider, wow, I have a very good list of very good people that is helpful to my community, but they should also meet other people. And that's how we strengthen it all. So first, I just want you to, maybe you should, well, it's okay. You just walk around. Be careful of the things on the floor. Just walk around. Just walk around. Notice each other. And then at some point, you make a choice and you stop, but it should be somebody you don't know yet, somebody you haven't talked to or met. Yes. And then you introduce yourself. Yes. And I want you to stop. Did you have time to have a little? Did you have time to have a little conversation, a little exchange? That was the time you had. Now you walk again. Then you find a new person. Okay?
What's your name? Lene. You're from Croatia, right?
Okay. You stop. I would like you to stop. And then what is happening now, I'm being a little bit, now I'm going to change the exercise. You're going to walk around again. You're going to find a new person. But I want you this time to talk about, of course you introduce yourself shortly, your name, where you're from, very shortly. But then talk about what inspires you and what you are looking for. Okay? So we changed, and then I'm going to be a little bit, you have like 1 minute each to kind of talk about that, and then you swap. And I can be a little bit precise on the time, okay? So you walk again, you find a new person, and you talk about what inspires you and what you're looking for. Okay, and you swap. It's the other person who talks about what they are inspired by. So you swap. Swap. Okay, now you stop. So what is happening now is that you stay with your partner, and then you team up so you are a group of 4. Okay, just team up in groups of 4. In groups of 4. You stay with your partner, find, like, so you go together. Now I want you to team up. You stay with your partner, and then you find 2 other people who have been talking together for the past minutes. Okay? Are you all in groups of 4? Okay. So now what's happening is, and maybe you spread out a little bit more so you can actually hear one another. Sound is also, acoustics is also very important when networking. What I want you to do now is actually to introduce the person that you talk to the 2 other people in the group. Yes. So I will give you I'll give you 1 minute each to kind of introduce your partner. So you kind of take a round of that. Should I keep I can keep the time and be very strict. I keep the time. Okay, 1 minute each introducing the other. Oh, actually, I will give you 2 minutes. I will give you 2 minutes so it's not too rushed. 2 minutes to introducing each person, okay? You start. And you have 2 minutes to introduce each person, yeah? And you swap to the next person. You have 2 minutes. And it is time to swap. Next person, 2 minutes. Okay, this is the last round. Do you need the time? Do you need the last 2 minutes? Or did you cover the whole group? You covered the group? Okay, then I want you to make a big circle. Make a big circle. Big circles. Look at one another. Make a big circle. Come. Make a big circle. All of us, we're making a big circle. Like a big happy community, exactly. We are the big happy community. Okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Good. I know it's a memory test. No, it's because I'm gonna put this box in the middle, and it's very simple. There's a piece of paper. And we're going to make a marketplace of opportunities and ideas that will grow throughout solid ground. So you will go and take your piece of paper, you will write your name, and you will write what it is that you are looking for and what have inspired you. Okay? And then during the time you're here, you can develop your note, because we're going to stick it on the wall outside where the cafe is. But it's a way that you can continue practicing, understanding, being curious. Because even though you are so few, you are still so many. And there's one thing about networking, it's also don't exhaust yourself by, you can't get to know everybody really well in such short time. So it's also kind of being fair with your time, and being fair to yourself and being fair to others. I know some of you are sharing housing, so that's a good opportunity to have lots of conversation. But there's people that you don't share housing with. Make sure you have dinner with them, that you see shows with them, that you expand your network, okay? So in a minute, yes, Bush?
I have a question.
Yes.
What inspired you? Is that what inspired us from these conversations, or what is inspiring us at the moment?
I think you should write from what is inspiring you at the moment.
And I have the similar, but from the other one.
Sorry?
The similar question, but from the other one, what they're looking for.
What you're looking for?
What context?
The context is in terms of your personal growth, in terms of your next step after you graduate. If you can, or maybe you already know something you're looking for. Maybe you're searching for more knowledge on Japan, or maybe you want to know what's going on in Stockholm. So it can be something like that. And then I want there to be a third point on the note, and that is what you can offer. So you can write, I have extended knowledge of everything going on in Copenhagen. Come talk to me. Okay, does it make sense? Yes? It's as simple as that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, yes. Here's the box, so you just come, take a paper and write, and then you will have a break after this, and we put it up on the wall. You come to me, and then I'll make sure it gets organized, okay? And you all do it. But before that, we just do one final thing. We just say our name very loud, and we just do a round.
We do a what?
A round with just the name.
Okay.
Lene?
Bush, Karen.
Lenica,
Leonie, Sage,
Sofia,
Emma,
Vilma, Akari,
Asia,
Juliana,
Manchor,
Ella,
Julia,
Nat, Sophie, Lena, Johanna,
René,
Ilja, Federica, Valentina,
Virginie,
Simon. Alex.
Sara.
Alan, Pietro,
Ramon.
Alba,
Auro.
Penelope,
Natasha. Anna.
Elia.
Speler.
Yes. You are now a network. Okay, go do it. Thank you. Thank you. That's the end, because now time is. I'll put a. I'll make a little. I'll just make an instruction up here.
Is this it or are you
I think this will be it. Because in terms of the time, otherwise, yeah.
So, are you still around?
Yes, I will be around.
Question for you.
I will be here the whole, and I will come here again tomorrow.
I can offer that
Yes, I will be. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I get the t-shirt?
I have. That is. I don't know. That is. I think out there in the restroom. I would assume. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for this lecture and thanks a lot for participating in this. I just want to say that Lene will stay with us, so also during lunchtime, if you have like individual questions, because we're a bit short of time, you can approach her during lunch. She said it starts with a conversation. Yeah,
it goes on.
With a
Yeah.
common dinner. I also heard that some people from Munich maybe won't want to participate in a dinner. I would highly recommend it.
Yes.
Whenever I got a step further in my career, it always happened at a dinner with somebody, or at a bar, not in the official setting.
Yeah.
So.
And I also want to say that I'm here today, but I will also come back tomorrow. So let's just be real with each other. And yes, I'm here for you. You're welcome. It was a pleasure. And as I said in the beginning, you can develop on your ideas during the days. It's not that you have to have all the answers now. There might be other things that come up. Then you add it to your marketplace. And we've secured a wall out there, so it's going to be on the big mirror when you enter the space where you find the food and different things. So you can kind of enjoy reading into other people's ideas during the coming days. Yeah. I'll give you a piece of tape, and then you go out, and then there's the mirror, which is just, I can walk with you. We will start setting up the wall. So we make the marketplace here on this mirror. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Do you want a piece of tape? Yes. Sorry. Do you need a piece of tape? I'll be waiting for you by the mirror, and then I'll ask you one thing, and that's one thing is to work on your own ideas. It might be that you see ideas that appear on other people's papers. So use that to continue with making the introductions. Maybe you think, but you should really talk to, because I think you have something in common, or maybe you could help each other out. So keep on being in that kind of mindset of helping each other. Okay? Good. Thank you. It's been a pleasure meeting you.